first thing I want to ask is that in retrospect, what do you think could have been done? Fire, the movement was heavy fire, right?
Mm-hmm.
What can you think could have been done better personally and collectively to the energy that was going on there to sustain it for a longer period of time?
All right, I'll start personally. Personally, and I don't be too hard on myself, because the main thing I think that beat me personally is that I had moved from Jamaica right when the thing was hot. So I'm really in DC. I'm not a man with any inheritance or a bag of money to take a plane every day to be in the midst of everybody. But if I was on the ground, I'm sure it would have been a different scene right now, because I was the only one really going out there and championing it, like talking about it to explain the minutia and what we're really trying to accomplish. I'm sure other people were, but I was the one with the time to do it. The other ones were in the studios and whatever. I was the one with the time. I could have sit on many panels and hold many reasonings in people's backyard or whatever. And every time somebody, even some of the people who were detractors and resisting the idea of the Reggae Revival, when they meet me somewhere on tour or something, and we finally hold a reason, like people, I remember even one time, like say Warrior King, him say, yo, I never realized say that you do, but you know,
That's what I was saying. Come be a part of history and experience the sharing of wisdom from some of the most brilliant thought leaders in our community. Come see Muda Baruka, Styles P, Nori Muhammad, Lawrence Haja, Dr. Dorothy Holly, Dejaz Mach Kwasi, Deborah Hines, and Midwife Asasia impart their wisdom at Groundings with My Brothers and Sisters, a holistic health conference. A plant-based breakfast and lunch are included. Looking forward to seeing you there. And earlier, man, like, if I talked to everybody and I was hearing what they were saying, and I was just like, who would listen? I would explain to them and say, "Fight, that's not the case." I would more term it as a cultural awakening for branding purposes. Obviously,
it was a great awakening. Yeah,
their explanation, I'm like, "Fight, that's not what they did."
Yeah, so it was, personally, I feel like if I was in a better position to do that public education work, we would have been in a different position. Collectively, I think that a lot of egos flared. I feel like people began to be mistrustful of each other. I believe that some of the artists, even though I have to give them great credit, when they're on the stage,
good to go,
them show great unity. And that's what people need to see. We present great unity. And that inspired, that made it actually what it was. That put wind in the sails of it, you know. It couldn't just be a man say Reggae Revival. People had to see a demonstration of, yo, it's really a collective of ones. Every time one do a show, the rest of them feature up on the show. The next one do a show, everybody go over this one. So it was a great thing. But I think behind the scenes, people were kind of, we could have worked, or maybe they could have worked on a deeper level to establish certain institutions that would have carried us to a greater level, and it never really happened.
Yeah, I think the institution word is the correct word that you use. Too much too soon. The ego's there, and I don't think it was enough, what we would say, old heads there to keep the whispers away and keep people out of people's ears.
Yeah.
Because you can see visually fire without knowing what's going on. You can see less and less interaction. Less and less collabs.
Yeah,
less and less
over
people
the years,
coming on
right?
stage, you know, until now every man kind of off to itself.
Yeah.
And I think you needed you needed something there to keep things intact.
Yeah.
And to kind of give that support and explanation. One of the concerns people had about the music with that generation is the shift from the origin. So all these artists got famous off the Rastafari message and a certain sound and even a look. But it seemed like many have deviated from that, right? Why do you think that's the case?
I think that our generation is less concerned with the facade of how the optics and more about the freedom to go on your life journey. So I do not think, from what I know of all of these artists and even myself, is that everything you go through. For instance, I mentioned that we used to do the study group in DC. That was my very intense Rastafari study period. So you couldn't have a conversation with me without me I tell you some me gone deep. And people not interested, but me not care. Now I'm on a different phase of life and I'm experiencing different things. But you can't take away Rastafari from me. You get me? So to me, what I see is that same trajectory with everybody else in terms of people are going to be who they are.
They have fiery at that moment too.
Yeah, you have your fiery period. Then you have your time when you grow up a little bit and you decide, say, all right, we can put on some of the fire. That no means say when the situation calls for it, we can rise up the fire. But who I do not want to live a life every day of being fiery. I just go out in the world and it's just fire me I bring, like, that's not how I want to live my life, you know? So I feel like our generation, we never succumb to the pressure of the groupthink and like having to be a certain way to fit in with your own community. For the, you know, for the good or bad of it. But I think that's what really happened. And that's how I analyze the thing.
And when we spoke to Kabaka, right, we disagreed on this topic because he was saying that reggae artists are the most pigeonholed in a sense. You're not allowed to evolve as a reggae artist. Mm-hmm. But I was telling him, like, the critique is there with rap artists also, you know, because Nas has a song where he says, I guess people are criticizing him for just trying new things and touching on different topics, and they want him to stay in the same place. Yeah. He was saying as a person he's evolved. I'm asking you, do you think reggae artists are pigeonholed where fundamentalists like myself, we just want to hear a certain sound and we're not open to anything else? Not worldwide. No, yeah. I'm talking about,
yeah. Yeah, there's a sense of that. And I just think that, in fact, people may not realize it, but I used to be one of those fundamentalists. So that was kind of even what makes some people who are great friends within the movement maybe even start pre-me, because I used to be one of those proponents of saying, yo, man, them now deal with the original root sound, you know. What them I deal with? And, you know, Ray, and Tay. But I had to come within myself over the years, just really observing them and just saying, yo, but what is the purpose of me stifling their creativity? In a new era we're in a new dispensation of time. Things always evolve, which, however you think it evolves, some people might say it's a negative, positive, but the only thing consistent and constant is change. So why would we expect reasonably, as a reasonably thinking human being, why would we expect that you stick to this one sound in the 2020s now? Or let's go back to the time that people complain about, the 2010s, right? Why would we expect it to sound like 90s bubble music? Or why would we expect it to sound like Bob Marley, 12 Tribes era, you know, Dennis Brown, Jacob Miller? Why would we expect that? We carry the sound and in different ways, and it evolves. Maybe we're at the point where it seems to have strayed the most, and that's maybe troubling and concerning. I think that also we have great ones who, and this was one of the things that bothered me the most, Junior. This bothered me so much. It made me so sad to think about this. We had such great artists, they're still active, who stuck to the original sound and the roots in our generation. And my thing was always trying to encourage everybody to say, listen, Reggae Revival is not a clique of individuals, it's not a gang. Is the spirit of our time. And we have these other people too who maybe not getting the limelight like the ones who are stretching the sound, but who are sitting in the pocket of original roots and culture and doing it well. And to me, they are Reggae Revival as well. But the thing that hurt me, Junior, is those people were so adamant that they did not want to be a part of it. That they even, couple of them even come to me and said, do not call my name in the Reggae Revival. So it is like them just nip it in the bud, any opportunity that I could support and help them to be recognized in other spheres. apart from just the root sphere or the lane that they have chosen for themselves, which they're entitled to. But I feel like right now, like, me just want to even call the name them now, brother. Like, I'm not going to do it, but I just saying that's how I feel. But I'm not going to do it because I respect somebody's wishes.
It's not the place for it.
Yeah. But I feel like certain artists right now should be with us yesterday in Philadelphia at that dub event, chanting mic tour. You know what I mean? And it's like the mistrust and the vibes kind of stop that.
Question I have, which the people want to hear, is that, all right, so we spoke about the growth and just the ability to express yourself musically and grow as an artist, right? That's cool. But the question I have is that what I notice is that now with the Cali bands, even though it's a different sound, Fire, they kind of just in this space. And I know there are a lot of other aspects that lead to it, right? But in regards to the sound, because the people we're talking about, the music that they're truly known for is the music that came out during the heights of the Reggae Revival, right? The songs later, Fire, don't really catch like that. It is what it is. You can just deal with the facts and performances, right? But what I'm noticing with these other groups, these Europe Fire, they just on straight one drop and people coming out to see it. Now, I know there are other factors to it, right? But why do you think, is it a sense that they don't want to hear the run drop from Jamaican reggae artists? Is it an economics thing? Is it a support thing? Why, if a Jamaican reggae artist makes a one drop tune, it's not catching like the European person or the Cali person that makes a one drop horn section Fire, bass line? I hear some version talking about Rastafari over there, yo. Throw a little Rastafari in their song.
Yeah.
So what's going on there? Because you're a man on the road that observes it. So what's going on?
Well, as you rightfully said, there are a lot of factors. I don't know if you're trying to get into the factors.
The factors. Yeah,
you're trying to get into it. Okay. Well, the network of the people, because you mentioned basically like the Cali roots, the Cali reggae scene.
Support system heavy out there.
Yeah, they have a great support system. They have their own culture. So the thing that over the years I noticed people have a problem grappling with is that people will steal your culture. It's not really stealing. They're inspired, but they have their own culture. So they're going to make it, adapt and mold it to fit in with their lifestyle and how they grow. So that's all that happened with the Cali music scene to me. When I observe it, I'm like, okay, this is just the nature of these people, you know? And give thanks, they created a scene whereby when they're ready to call on some Jamaican artists, they're going to call Protoje, they're going to call Jesse Royal. Now, why they choose the artists that they call, that's another story on its own. But what I have learned through conversations over time is that there was a period where the Jamaican artists who would come over and do work.
Highly unprofessional.
Extremely unprofessional. And coming into the people them space and badding them up too.
With 1,000 people that's not assisting with the production.
Yeah. So it's like that did kind of set us back as a people doing our music in this side of the world. And I can't speak to Europe as much.
No, Europe's the same thing, Fire. I've spoken to European promoters.
I've heard some of that too. But at least now Europe still has a robust reggae scene that enough Jamaican artists can penetrate. It's harder to penetrate the North American space as a Jamaican artist. Just by visas, just go visa alone. Enough man can't get the visa. So that defeat X amount of percent away already. And then from the ones that are doing the work now is who is professional, because a lot of those promoters are still, they were from that time. Or they have the muscle memory of that time.
A small circle, word spread very quick.
So one thing I pride myself on is professionalism, you know, and timeliness. And it's the simple things. Be on time, communicate well, tell them if something going wrong, say it immediately. And so they have time to work it out. And just be a good human being. Don't go in the people them. It's like if a man come inside of my house, open my front door, and say, yo, we eat pork, you know. So pork, I have to put pork on the table, you know. So it's like we go in and say, yo, we do this and we is that, and Nah do that. Fire. It don't make any sense. You get me?
I wanted to add this to it so people know far right. The artists that get the most work or you see touring, the common denominator is professionalism. It really is. Because people understand, they think like it's some club. It's not no club. It's just consistent professionalism where people are comfortable working with you.
Yeah.
That's what they don't
That's
understand.
how relationships are built.
You know?
So then every time them think about the next year's festival and them start to send the offers out, them go with who them know that work with them good. We all would do that. We all would do that, you know?
I think in regards to accountability, especially with Jamaican reggae artists, there's a lack of accountability in regards to the role you played in the fact that your phone doesn't ring.
Say that again?
There's a lack of accountability in the role that artists play and the fact that their phone does not ring.
Oh,
Because you hear everybody fighting you down system. It's not necessarily the case, right? You've consistently conducted yourself in a way where people are turned off to work with you.
Yeah. And
you guys have a good name in regards to professionalism out there. I will tell you that. And Tippy, I agree. You guys have a very good name when it comes to professionalism, right? And people are open to working with you. Straight to the point.
Yeah, that is very deliberate. That is like, why would we not be professional if this is your profession and your career? It's literally the thing, you get me? So you have to take it seriously. You have to know the conditions that you're operating in. You have to know that people have their own cultures and you're going into their space. So Haile Selassie never walk over into the League of Nations and conduct himself like when him in him throne room in Ethiopia. Him go and respect the protocols of the League of Nations and get the job done and then go back to him yard and him can kick up him foot if he want and whatever. That is how we have to think about it. You know, we're going out into a wider world. We don't want to be stuck on a small island where it's hard to generate the economies of scale and build yourself. You need access to the world. The earth is the laws and the fullness thereof. So we have to just know, say, yo, humanity